Ohayo. Welcome to the So Japanese podcast, a podcast about all things Japan from a
Japanese
foreign perspective. We are your hosts. My name is John.
My name is Ryusuke.
Thank you for joining us today.
Arigato.
Again, to start off the episode, we would like to ask if any of our followers, listeners, would like to collaborate with us on like a clothing merch design. We notice a lot of our followers and listeners are artists, and like some really good artists too.
Yep.
So I thought we thought that it'd be fun if we could collaborate with one of you guys. So yeah, drop us a DM if you're interested in collaborating with us for a t-shirt design. We would like to work with you guys.
Right.
As well as please follow us, subscribe to wherever you listen to our podcast. So if you haven't done so already, please take the time now. You can pause it and just give us 5 stars ideally on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And give our YouTube channel a subscribe as well. So today's episode, Autumn in Japan.
Aki.
And we have another street level Japanese segment at the end. So please stay tuned for that. A really good one. I mean, they're all good, but I feel like the recent street level Japanese segments have been pretty street level.
Yeah.
Right?
And
really
pretty popular from the listeners, and
that's true.
We get a good feedback too. So
so Autumn in Japan, Aki.
Hi.
So arguably one of the better times to visit Japan, no?
Yes.
Nice weather.
Yeah, nice weather.
Super beautiful.
Not too humidity. And you can walk anywhere.
Yeah, you would argue spring or autumn.
Yeah.
Ideal times, right? From September 7th, Japan is actually opening up their borders a little bit more.
Yay.
So independent tourists will now be able to travel to Japan without joining a guided tour group.
Finally.
However, they still need to book their flights and accommodation via travel agency that I guess is vetted by the government. But this means that like flexible independent travelers and backpackers that kind of don't have their plans set are not allowed to enter the country yet for tourism purposes. The reason why you need to book your flights and hotels through a travel agency is because so that the agency can share information on Japan's social distancing measures, and they will act as like a point of contact in case the tourist gets infected with COVID. Unfortunately, travelers still need to apply for a visa, which can be annoying. Yeah. Right? You pay an extra money and you might have to wait for the visa to be processed. Another thing is that no more COVID-19 tests before arrival.
This is very nice. You save some money.
Yeah, money and the stress of like, getting it before 72 hours, all that bullshit. But it's only for fully vaccinated and booster shot. I guess you have to have 3 doses. So they're opening their borders a bit more. So from 20,000 travelers a day to 50,000 travelers a day. So big difference. Yeah. Interesting statistic that we found that so last year Japan only got about 250,000 foreign visitors. But compared to 2019, they had almost 32 million travelers. So huge difference. I think like Anna stock and like all the tourist company stocks have seen a bump since this news, right? I mean, big difference, right? A lot of money has been lost.
Yeah.
So let's now talk about what temperatures can you expect. So fall in Japan are which months?
September, October, and November. Yeah.
So just for easiness sake, we'll tell you the temperatures in Celsius.
Yeah.
Sorry, Americans. So in September, during the day, temperatures are about 23 to 28 Celsius, like almost perfect, right? In the morning and at night, it drops to about 18 to 21. So still not bad. October, a little bit cooler, obviously. 19 to 23 during the day, and 14 to 18 Celsius in the morning at night. In November, 14 to 18 during the day, and 7 to 12 in the morning and evening.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cold.
It's getting colder, right?
Yep.
So some tips would be to bring layers.
Yeah, you definitely need some jacket. Yeah,
right.
You should have one.
Right. And also, like, you're going to be spending time doing a lot of hiking and walking because you want to see the leaves, right? So, yeah, you're going to need a jacket at least.
Yeah.
So bring layers.
Yeah.
Also, another tip is that there's a few holidays in September, right?
Yep.
So a lot of people might have days off. A lot of businesses might be shut for the week. So just keep that in mind.
Yep.
Which holidays are these?
Well, this called Silver Week.
So in the summer, there's a
before summer, like in the springtime, there's a Golden Week.
Yeah.
Which is like longer than Silver Week. You can tell. Yeah. So and we have the episode about Golden Week if you guys want to know about Golden Week. So back to the episode and then you can check. But yeah, for September there's a Silver Week, which is September 21st. It's the Keiro no Hi, which is respect for the aged day. So like respect for the
elders.
Yeah.
So Japanese.
Yeah. And also the other one, I think this year is September 24th.
Okay.
It's called Shubun no Hi.
So it's like to celebrate the autumn equinox. So
Exactly.
obviously this holiday changes every year.
Yeah.
But I think why it's Silver Week is that if you're lucky enough to get the days off in between those two holidays, plus the weekends, you kind of have like more than a week off.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Another tip is that maybe bring rain gear.
Or you might need to check the weather forecast. It's just because September is the seasons of typhoon, which is typhoon. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, September is always maybe like 2 or 3 big one coming to the mainland Japan.
So really rainy,
windy. Yeah. Sometimes the train stop, flight stop. That's why like you should check the weather.
Is there ever like flooding problems in Japan?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes like the
landslide. That's right.
Because of too much. Yeah.
I mean, Japan is pretty mountainous.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So next in this Aki podcast, we have what to do in the autumn.
What can you do?
So a big thing, I think since like the 1960s, it's the Grand Prix. So Formula One has been in Japan. I think that like ever since that Netflix show Drive to Survive, F1 has been like gaining
really
popularity.
Popular. Yeah.
So the Japan Grand Prix, where is it?
It's in Suzuka Circuit, which is in Suzuka City in Mie Prefecture. Yeah, it's a big the race track. Yeah. With actually has how to say it's like a I forgot the UNC. How to say? Like a Disneyland.
There's a amusement park?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep. There is.
So
yeah. So you can go check out the race and also the amusement park.
Yep.
The race is held on Sunday, October 9th.
This year.
this year. So
Yep.
I guess the date changes, but
Yep.
that weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously, in Japan,
Mm.
a lot of nature,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of trees.
Yeah.
So the leaves will be changing colors.
Mm-hmm.
They have a word for the viewing of fall leaves.
Mm-hmm. Which is momijigari.
So almost like viewing cherry blossoms.
Mm-hmm.
There's a cherry blossom forecast,
Mm-hmm.
which shows you on the map of Japan of when the cherry blossoms are changing. I mean,
Mhm.
when they're blooming.
Mm-hmm.
They also have a fall leaves forecast.
Mm-hmm. Which call momiji zensen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when the leaves are changing.
Yeah.
Specifically, I guess they use the maple, the Japanese maple leaf as
Yeah.
like the base, but
Yeah.
all trees, all sorts
trees.
of
Yeah. Yeah.
are changing
Momiji
colors.
is the Japanese maple leaf tree.
Mhm.
So.
So obviously it's gonna start from the north of the country,
Mhm.
Hokkaido.
No, from south.
Sorry.
Yeah, southeast
Mm-hmm.
to northwest. No, sorry, southwest to northeast.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? East. Oh no, sorry, southwest.
No, it gets colder.
Yeah.
From Hokkaido down.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So cherry
Yeah.
blossoms is from
Cherry blossom is
south
the opposite.
to
Yeah,
north.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. Sorry,
But
guys.
the leaves changing in the fall
It's
starts from
going
the
down.
north Hokkaido
Yes.
down to Kyushu, Okinawa.
Yes.
Unlike cherry blossoms, which is like a week or two, really
Mhm.
short,
Mm-hmm.
the fall leaves
Mhm.
changing lasts around like 50 days or so. So
Yeah.
you have more time.
Yeah.
So it starts around the end of October
Mm-hmm.
to the end of November, going into December.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time in November, all the leaves have changed.
Yep.
In Japan, there's two foliage waves. So one for yellow leaves and
Mhm.
the other one for red colored leaves.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of October, you'll have the yellow leaves changing. So specifically like ginkgo trees
Yeah.
will turn that golden yellow color.
Yellow. Yeah.
And then followed by the Japanese maple trees
Mm-hmm.
turning to red.
Red. Yeah.
So two waves to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see them?
Well, it's, like Japan has a lot of forest and then mountains, so it's pretty much everywhere, anywhere in like by the temple, by the shrine, or even, by the trail with nice rivers or like the waterfalls, and yeah, like pretty much anywhere you go and then you can see.
Yeah, I would say any temples, anywhere with a view, like anywhere, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, specifically, pretty much all the sites that you would want to go see in Japan anyway. Just visit those same sites and you'll see them.
Even in the city too, because
Yes.
like there's a bunch of like ginkgo trees are there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's it stinks.
Right?
You can tell.
Yeah, ginkgo trees, it's like a really unique smell.
Yeah.
It stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes I feel like, did I step on something?
that's true. That's true.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. How do you describe the smell?
Like, I don't remember now,
Mhm.
but on that time,
Mhm.
I remember. Oh, it stinks. And
Yeah.
it's a ginkgo nut.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, there's a lot of ginkgo trees actually in Toronto, and you'll smell them. It's when they fruit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's when you start smelling it. And then the fruit falls, animals will break them, or people will step on them, and then it gets really smelly.
Mm-hmm.
So Japan, based on agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
So fall time, harvest time,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of festivals.
Yep.
So we'll just talk about a few festivals to see during the fall. We have
Hachioji Ginkgo Festival.
so this is in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So there's a 4-kilometer stretch of road that
Mhm.
is covered with ginkgo trees.
Yeah. Like both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where from
from Hachioji Oiwakecho to the foot of Mount Takao. It's the line with like over like 700 of ginkgo trees.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So super beautiful, really big. They have parades, they have market stalls.
Yep.
Another one, this one's more in the city. Meiji Jingu.
Yeah. Meiji Jingu Gaien Ginkgo Festival.
Meiji Jingu would probably be one of the more popular
shrine,
right?
Yeah.
So every year there's a Ginkgo festival there. It lasts about 2 weeks.
Nice.
So you have time.
Yep.
A lot of street food vendors, a lot of market stalls. And yeah, check that out. Another holiday, not holiday, another significant date, kind of a festival as well, is...
It's called Hichigo-san.
And that's on November 15th?
Yeah.
So 753 is an annual Japanese festival to celebrate the growth of children.
Yes.
So I guess back in the day,
I mean, yeah, back in the day, kids are difficult to survive. And so that's why like people celebrate if the kids turn 3 and then, okay, you survive. Congrats. And then 5, same thing. Oh, you still survive. That's great.
It's dark.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
And 7th, like, okay, you're good to go, basically.
What happens during this time?
During this time, basically, like, children are dressed up in kimono, and then or suit, and families go to shrine with them, and then they pray for like thank you for like kids are doing well, and at the end, kids can get the candy called chitoseame, which is I remember that like I got a candy, and that's the chitose means 1,000 of years, so
it's like a long stick, right?
Exactly. So that means like you live longer.
So like with anything in Japan, everything has symbolic meaning. So it's a long piece of candy, symbolizes health and longevity.
Yep.
It's like a hard candy, but then as you chew it, it gets softer, right?
Yep.
As we said, because of the fall season, harvest time, a lot of the festivals revolve around what vegetables are ready to harvest.
Yep.
Another popular one is moon viewing.
Yeah. Otsukimi.
And I guess every year is different, right?
Yeah, every year is different date, but basically this is it's otsukimi, but also it's called jugoya. Basically, like you celebrate the moon, like one of the beautiful moon in the season, and then also celebrate the harvest. So like you either eat mochi, or you can also eat like a potatoes.
Okay.
And then you look at the nice view of moon. Doesn't have to be full moon. And
it's a harvest moon. I think it's based on the lunar calendar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this year, Otsukimi, Jugoya is September 10th. So maybe even you're not in Japan, you can still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another fun festival. It's in Kyoto. It's called the Kurama Fire Festival.
Yeah.
So I think people walk up to the mountains of Kurama, which is not too far from the capital of Kyoto. So at the end of October, the festival starts right after sunset. Guests and participants dress in costumes to carry torches down the streets towards Yuki Jinja Shrine. At the end of the march, there's a huge bonfire. So this festival is to welcome spirits from the shrine to the village to offer protection. Anything with fire is fun, no?
Yeah, for sure.
another one kind of like Halloween-ish is the Supernatural Cat Festival. Every year on the 13th of October in Tokyo. In which neighborhood is it again?
Kagurazaka.
So anyone can participate. We saw pictures. It's like, yeah, everyone's in cat costumes.
Cat costume.
I think there's like an entrance fee. But you just have to dress up in a cat costume and you can participate in this parade. Halloween is getting more and more popular in Japan, right?
Halloween is getting popular and popular. I never had a chance to do Halloween in Japan because I was already in here, Canada.
As a kid growing up, did you know what Halloween was?
I knew, but
it's like some American thing.
Yeah, I never done anything. Maybe like the Halloween season, we see some type of like movies, or maybe we see pumpkins on a store or whatever.
Oh yeah, you do see that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't do anything. I didn't even wear costume or nothing. Yeah.
So Halloween now is pretty much just like a costume party.
Yeah.
I think Don Quixote is really happy.
They're crazy busy this time.
We mentioned it before in podcast before. Don Quixote is a chain of stores in Japan. Every city has one, and they sell like random things, cheaper price, and one of the main things they sell are costumes, like of all sorts, kids costume, but like even adults, right? Japan's a big cosplay country, so a lot of costumes, sexy costumes as well.
Sexy costume, yeah.
So the big party is in Shibuya, the neighborhood of Shibuya. Crazy street parties, a lot of drinking. But in the past, the parties would get out of control.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right, a lot of fighting, craziness happens. Police have to arrest people. So unfortunately, since 2019, they have banned public drinking in the area. Up until like last year, the ban has still stuck. But this year, they haven't released whether or not they will ban it. But with the country opening back up, I think they shouldn't ban it, right? You got to welcome tourists.
Yeah.
Another popular spot to go to during Halloween in Japan is Universal Studios.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
For Halloween, yeah.
Big one. Another interesting time, every November in the Gion district of Kyoto, like old school district, right? Where you still can see maikos and geishas and stuff like that. So the geikos and maikos will have dance performances during the first 10 days of the month of November. So that'd be really fun to see, right? Something really touristy.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to what to eat.
Hi. What to eat in Aki.
So they have a saying in Japan.
Yeah. It's called shokuyoku no aki.
So it means the appetite of autumn. So like we said, harvest season.
Yep.
A lot of seasonal foods.
Seasonal food.
Our
Also, because it's getting cold, you're going to winter. So you better eat a lot to get more fat.
Yeah, that's a very like old school way of thinking, right?
Yep.
So there's two bigger food festivals. One is the annual Gyoza Festival, dumplings, in early November. Where is it?
It's in Utsunomiya City in Tochigi Prefecture. It's like close to Tokyo.
So I guess all the regional gyoza restaurants, masters.
I mean, Utsunomiya is the famous for gyoza.
Okay.
So in that city, there's a lot of gyoza restaurants.
Okay, so they all go and to this festival to serve their gyoza.
Gyoza, which is dumpling.
But I feel like Japan does it a bit differently. Like in Japan, if you say dumplings, because like in China, it could be steamed, boiled, or fried. But in Japan,
mostly it's pan fried.
pan fried.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time you get that
The
starchy wings, the skirt, right? Extra crunchy.
Yeah.
Apparently they sell it for like 100 yen per plate. So
Yes.
I guess you can eat as much as you want
Yeah.
to try the different vendors. Another fun festival is in late October in Tokyo, a ramen show.
That's nice. I want to go.
Right?
Yeah.
So apparently it's in Komazawa Olympic Park. So those are two food festivals I think you guys should check out for sure. Another popular thing to do in Japan, which is originated in France.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is the wine, Beaujolais Nouveau.
Beaujolais Nouveau Day.
Yeah. So like this event typically is from France. In France, the third of Thursday in November, that's the holiday for Nouveau. I mean Beaujolais Nouveau, which is new wine, right?
Yeah.
So they set the date. Only from that day, they can open the bottle. But because of Japan, the timeline is before France, so we can get the first timing to open the wine bottle. So somehow Japan took that in serious. When I was in food industry in Japan, this day people stay until midnight, then they want to drink the Beaujolais Nouveau as first as possible.
Okay. So obviously the suppliers in France of Beaujolais Nouveau wine sends the wine out to all the countries, right?
Yep.
But they're instructed, you can't start serving it until the third Thursday of November.
Yep.
Why is it so popular in Japan though?
I think it's all about marketing. Also, because Beaujolais Nouveau is basically fresh wine, so it's more fruity and light and crispy taste. So like it's a suit with the Japanese people palate. Yeah.
So it sounds to me like more like juice.
Yeah, exactly. like I think a lot of Japanese people likes that fruity, like a sweet
Easy
flavor, easy
drinking,
drink,
right?
Yeah.
So it's not aged, but the alcohol content is pretty much the same as wine. It's still like 12 to 14 percent.
And some bath place, like public bath, they do they pour all the Beaujolais Nouveau in the bathtub, and then they are bathing with the wine. I don't know with the COVID they still doing or not.
Why? It's alcohol. Kills.
Right?
Kills bacteria.
Exactly.
All right. So we'll just name some foods that are in season during autumn in Japan. Obviously, rice. It's rice harvest season.
Rice. Yeah, you get a best new crop.
Yeah.
Rice. Yeah.
A lot of people eat maple leaf tempura.
Maple leaf tempura. I think it's just because the seasonal thing. Yeah.
So people that didn't know, maple leaves are edible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maple leaf blossoms, maple leaf itself, edible. Persimmons,
Kaki.
in season.
Yeah.
Pears,
Yeah. Nashi.
nashi pears.
Nashi pears. Nice.
Pumpkin,
Kabocha.
right? A side note, do you know why kombucha is called kombucha in Japan?
Kabocha?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So apparently the Portuguese brought pumpkin
Okay.
to Japan,
Okay.
and they grew them in Cambodia, or they kept them in Cambodia.
Okay.
So the pumpkins that Japan got back then were from Cambodia.
So it's Cambodia and Cambodia.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
Another thing in season is sweet potato.
はい。さつまいも。
So you can either have it,
Yeah. Like roast. I mean grill.
yeah,
No. Broil, grill.
yeah,
It's just tossed in the fire.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or candidate with black sesame,
Super
which
good.
is called daikakuimo. I used to love it.
Yeah, me too.
It's so good.
In terms of seafood, we have
Sanma.
sanma,
Pacific.
Pacific sauri.
Yes, this is really, really seasonal food.
Okay.
Always.
It's like a long, pointy
Yeah,
silver fish.
silver, not so big.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say like 2-inch body,
Okay,
and then maybe like how long?
a
Like,
foot long.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And normally served grilled.
Yes, with the grated daikon with either ponzu or soy, and
Classic.
you eat almost everything except bone and head and tail.
Okay.
So you even eat the inside.
Insides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Next one is matsutake.
Matsutake mushroom.
Matsutake mushrooms. Pine mushrooms.
Pine mushroom.
So rather expensive mushrooms
Mm-hmm.
because they are apparently very hard to cultivate.
Yep.
But so you have to forage them.
Yep.
Normally around pine trees.
Exactly.
If you haven't tried them, they're like white fleshed mushrooms. Super pine.
That's a Canadian matsutake.
Oh, okay.
Japan. So Canadian matsutake has like a bigger top.
I thought that was just because they were older.
Yeah. So I think that's also why in Japan, like they love the smaller top and but thicker bottom.
Yeah, I think they just harvest it earlier.
The Japanese
Well,
people.
not harvest. Like they pick
Yeah,
it
they pick.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Exactly.
the price range is like if you can harvest in Japan, sometimes it goes up to like $1,000.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Crazy.
really expensive.
Hard
but
to find, right?
Yeah, it's
You
like
have
a
to find
truffle.
them naturally. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Japanese version of truffle.
Super floral.
Yeah,
In what ways do the Japanese eat them?
we normally call dobin mushi, which is you have the teapot, like small version of teapot. You put dashi, and then you put slice of matsutake mushroom in there,
Thinly sliced.
sliced, and then you steam it with the pot. So you get that super nice fragrance of flavor of matsutake stock.
It's like matsutake tea. right?
Exactly.
You just steep it.
Exactly. Or you can eat with rice, matsutake gohan. Or if you're rich enough and then you fucking grill it, then you eat.
Yeah, you get big chunks of it.
Exactly.
Speaking of with rice, chestnuts.
Yeah.
Chestnut rice.
Yeah.
Super good.
Kuri gohan.
Super, super good.
Yeah.
Another one is Kyoho grapes.
Kyoho grapes. It's the like big piece of like grapes with like so sweet.
So sweet.
Yeah.
So I feel like Japanese grapes don't taste like grapes over here.
No, it's
Right?
different.
So if you think of like grape flavored Hubba Bubba or like grape flavored chewing gum or candy, that flavor, that grape flavor is not really what grapes taste like over here. But in Japan, their grapes actually taste like grape candy.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And then grapes, the Kyoho grapes, that's also expensive.
Yes, super expensive.
Super expensive.
I think you buy a bunch, it comes out to like $3 a grape.
Yeah. Yeah. Something like that.
But like the juice is like so juicy.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like in general, the fruit from Japan is expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we mentioned it before. Like fruits in Japan, like the super nice expensive ones are meant to be gifts.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So that's why they're at an elevated price. But also they take care of them. Like, so for example, one fruit tree, they're not going to try to maximize the yield.
No.
Right? They'll only make sure that each tree or each plant grows a certain number of fruit. So the fruit is like maximum flavor and sweetness.
Yep. Yeah.
And they'll like cover them, rotate them.
Exactly. Yeah. Like right away they start covering with the like special bag or something.
So the sun doesn't hit them. rotate them so the sun hits them evenly. Yeah, a lot of care. Crazy. Ginkgo nuts.
Yeah.
So we mentioned before, the fruit itself, super stinky. I don't think it's edible. Right? But the nut inside, there's a shell. And then open the shell. You got a tender nut.
And the ginkgo nut we call ginnang. How we eat normally is like with the shell, we heat it up like a lot of salt in a pot. And then we put all the ginkgo nut with the shell in a hot salt to cook it. Yeah. And then at some point you take it out and then you peel it and eat.
What flavor would you say ginkgo nut?
It's hard to describe. How to say? Actually, like with like that cooking that way, I don't get too much stinkiness. Maybe because salt. But I would say it's more like umami coming to it.
Yeah, it's not much flavor. I think it's more texture.
And texture is very like nutty, like.
But it's not crunchy.
No, it's
tender.
not crunchy at all.
Tender.
Yeah, it's really tender. Yeah, when you bite, it gets kind of like pasty. Almost. Yeah. But I love it. I mean, like Japanese people in this season, we really looking forward to eat that with like alcohol.
Also, ginkgo nut rice too. There's such thing, no?
No. I think that's too stinky.
Oh,
but
okay.
we put in chawan mushi, which is like savory warm pudding. Yeah.
Egg pudding.
Yes.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode about autumn.
Aki.
I think we've hit all the seasons, no?
I think so.
Yeah.
We did a winter, spring, summer.
Yeah.
And
so
autumn.
I guess it's almost a year since we started this podcast.
Yay.
Crazy.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. So this brings us to our street level Japanese segment. For a lot of our listeners, I know you guys watch a lot of anime, watch a lot of Japanese TV movies. Conversational wise, you hear these two words all the time. Like all the time. So the first one is
Soka or Soka.
So very similar sound. Soka or soka. Both are interchangeable.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to worry too much about your pronunciation. Soka. Soka means, oh, I see, or that's right. But you say it in a kind of way like you just realize something and you're in agreement. So you can double it up and say
Soka.
So it would be I see. Formally, what would you say?
そうですね or そうですか
or そうなんですね.
そうなんですね
That's formal. You say that at work to elders. Soka, informal, street level. So we have two examples for you. Do you want to go to lunch on Monday?
No, I can't. I'm working.
But it's a bank holiday.
ああ、そっか。じゃあ、どこのレストラン行く?
So, yeah, that's right. Which restaurant do you want to go to then? Next one is,
I want to ask you out on a date.
Sorry, I have a boyfriend.
そっか、わかった.
So, I see. I understand.
Yep.
Soka. Super, you hear it everywhere. Next one is, no, nope, nah. I guess you can kind of tell from the sound. Means
exactly.
No.
Yep.
Formally,
いいえ
no.
No.
So, two examples again. Are you tired? Do you want to leave?
大丈夫
So, no, I'm okay. Next one is, would you like more food?
もうお腹いっぱい
So, no, I'm full.
Yep.
I hope you enjoyed these two words. Again,
Hi.
super useful.
Yep.
again, if you guys have any suggestions on episodes or language questions, things that we can cover in street level Japanese, please let us know. We would really appreciate it. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And thank you for listening.
ありがとうございます。またね。バイバイ。